Yo, what is up guys, it's Vibe here back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about what is next for this Marvel Avengers game. If you guys didn't know, the game's coming out on September 4th, which is about 2 months from now, and people are getting more and more excited, as I am too. I haven't seen almost anyone making a video about this, so I thought that I would bring my personal thoughts and assumptions with what the devs had said to compile what I think are the release dates for certain events between now and the release date of the game. So if you guys want to see more content like this, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I had made videos about Marvel Avengers in the past if you guys are interested in this game and these type of videos. But without further ado, let's get started. So the main three things that are standing from now and the release date, which I really want to talk about, is the next War Table event, the new hero that they're going to announce, and the beta. So the first thing I want to talk about is the War Table event. So if you guys didn't know, we had the first War Table event about a week ago, and a lot of people didn't like the game at first before the War Table. Most people were not interested in it or didn't really know what the game was or didn't like it at all. But since the War Table event, it really turned the tides, and a lot of people are starting to see what this game is really about, and more people are starting to like the game, which is honestly really good. It's also giving players that already knew what the game is a lot of insight on what they could be expecting when the game actually comes out and for the beta. So the next War Table event, they're probably going to be talking more about gameplay-wise, but they're also going to be talking to us more about the end game, just because of the fact that the previous War Table event showed us a lot of gameplay, but they kind of showed us the basic stuff that we weren't really getting from the A-Day trailer, and now we're going to be talking more about Endgame 2. And the director of actually Warzone, he has stated that there's three main things in Endgame. He's already given us one, which is the Hives, which is an aim stronghold that you could take you and your three other companions, friends, or AI with your best loot to fight the aim stronghold, and you pretty much kill off all the enemies and you get really good loot from it. So that's one end game, and he said that there's going to be two other end games, which he's excited to show us about in the next War Table that is supposedly upcoming, which is really exciting to hear because end game is a really important factor of live service looter shooter games, and that's really not something that we really see. Warframe has an okay end game. Anthem had a terrible one just because you didn't really have any reason to use the gear you actually got in the game, and Destiny has a pretty good one. I'm really hoping that there's some type of raid just like in Destiny where you take you and maybe 9 other members just to fight like this Infinity War kind of raid, or maybe other topics like maybe an end game kind of raid where 9 other teammates fight with the best loot. Fight against like Thanos, but that'd be really cool. But we would obviously have to wait till they add more characters. The second thing that I want to talk about is a new hero. So if you guys didn't know, they're going to be announcing us the new hero before the game actually comes out, which is amazing. Now, there's many theories. Some saying Hawkeye, some saying Captain Marvel, some saying Black Panther, all that kind of stuff, maybe even Ant-Man. But I think, personally, it's going to be Hawkeye. Here's why. So if you guys see this picture of Kamala Khan's room, you see a bunch of pictures of Captain Marvel, but if you zoom down and you see the little portrait on the left, you do see Hawkeye, and I think that Hawkeye is one of the main Avengers, and if they just don't include him and get him out of the way, I think that would be just like kind of messed up, just because he is one of the main Avengers, and I was surprised that he didn't even come in to the game at first. And a lot of people have also been asking when exactly are we going to be seeing like this War Table, all that kind of stuff. So the War Table, I think, is going to be around July, just because of the fact that the game's going to be coming out early September, and I think they need time for the beta too. So I think mid to late July, they'll be showing us another War Table, and at the end of the War Table, they'll be showing us the beta release. With heroes, a lot of people have been asking me too, like how with like the space between the heroes, like how often they'll be adding new DLC and new villains and new regions, all that kind of stuff. Some people, they did say every month, but I'm not sure if they mean just DLC characters, or they just mean in general, like every month they'll be releasing maybe a villain, or maybe just like some patch notes, maybe just some cosmetics, or they actually mean like a new character every month. But I think it would be safe to say, I think at once, one character every 3 months at least. But a lot of people are thinking every other month, which is honestly kind of amazing, because if you think about it, that's 6 characters in a year, and they did want to support this game for years and years to come. And when I think of years and years, I think of about 5 to 6 years, and if you think about that, we're going to have over 30 characters by the end of this, which is completely crazy to think about, because on top of my head, I could probably think of 10 characters that are like main Avengers, but I can't think of anything past that. Obviously, there are other Avengers, but they're not really as well known, so I don't know what they're going to do. They're probably going to get more Avengers that aren't as well known from the comics, just because they're huge comic fans, which is honestly amazing, and once again shows of how big fans they are of this game and of the Marvel series in general, because you always want developers that really care about their game. Now, the last thing I really want to talk about that I think a lot of people are curious about is about the beta. Now, I think that the beta some games they come out with the beta right before the game, but I think the beta has to have at least a couple weeks in front of the actual game, just so that people they can give their feedback on what they like and what they don't like, just so that the developers can take away and add things that the fans really want, and they need some time to do that. They can't do it like the day of the game, or the day before the game. So they do need time. So I'm thinking mid-August at the latest for the beta. I don't know how many war tables they want. I don't know if they want a war table one in July and another one in August. But then again, I wouldn't be too surprised if they actually do add something in August or another war table in August, just because when every month leading up to the actual game does make a little bit of sense. But they do need to actually have the game late August, just because PlayStation users actually get a week early. So they actually have to have it ready late August, the game. Something else I want to actually talk about is, when is this war table? Because I said mid-July, but if it's anything like the last war table, they announced that they were actually going to have the war table 2 to 3 weeks before it actually happened. And if they're actually going to do that this time again, then that means we're going to have it late July. So that's around what I said, but a little bit later than I actually expected. So what I'm thinking, they did announce that it's going to be upcoming. So if they do announce it, if they are going to do it the same way they did it before, they're definitely going to announce it pretty soon, like in the next week max. But don't get your hopes down if you don't get it the next week, because maybe they'll do something where they announce the next war table, and like maybe even a week or maybe even less than a week later, that's when the war table actually happens. Because for example, it could be this Sunday, they could say, oh, the war table event, and it could actually happen next Wednesday. You never know. But also, that's the thing. But if you guys want me to do a more in-depth pre-order guide, just because of the fact that a lot of people want to try out the beta, and a lot of people are hesitant because you can only try it's a closed beta, and most likely only for a weekend, and you can only get it if you pre-order the game. So a lot of people are questioning about the pre-order and all that stuff, and I do know a lot about the pre-order. I have done a lot of research, so if you guys want me to do a video on that, leave it in the comments below. But tell me, guys, what are the characters you guys are most excited for to come out in the game? Like, what characters you want? It doesn't even have to be the first character, but what character do you necessarily want? What do you want to see in Endgame? What do you expect about this game? What do you want to see in the next war table? What do you want to see in the beta? Like, what do you want to be able to do in the beta? Leave all of that in the comments below. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I am going to be going to Maine this weekend, so I'm very excited, but we will be posting on Monday as normal. I'm very excited about this game, guys. I'm telling you guys, every day I'm getting more and more excited. I'm getting more and more hyped, and I think a lot of people are too, because think about it. This game has massive potential. Obviously, it can flop like Anthem, but if this game is actually done right, it has massive potential. It could literally be the biggest superhero game. And it doesn't even have to be superhero genre anyway. It could just be one of the biggest games in general. You can see it all over YouTube, all over Twitch, all over all these kind of platforms, which is absolutely amazing, because so far, from what I see, from what they're saying, it looks like a promising game. They're hitting all the marks. And honestly, there are little things that people are complaining about. Oh, Thor's hammer isn't sounding good enough, or oh, the character models don't look like the MCU versions. Like, they're not supposed to look like the MCU version. That's the whole point. And Thor's hammer, that's something that can be easily fixed. That they in 1 second they can fix. Like, it's one of those things that they could add in the patch notes. So that's something that's not something to fret about, right? That's not a reason for you not to get the game, because Thor's hammer sounds aren't as loud as you want them to be, or aren't as impactful as you want them to be. And yes, the combos aren't slow. Look, guys, the game isn't going to be perfect at launch. No game is. Okay, they're obviously going to make changes, but I think this game is going to be very good at launch. And a couple months down the line, it's going to be even better, because they're going to fix those little minor imperfections from what the fan base have said, because they listen to their fans. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. If you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.